We are learning Mishna is Bava Kamma, Perikei, Chapter 5, Mishna Beis, Mishna 2. Today's day of learning has been sponsored by Barry Steinberg in memory of his aunt Gertrude Steinberg, Gittel Bas Avraham. Neshama Shabbat Aliyah. Okay. Hakadar Shehechnes Kadei Reisav Lachatzar Balabaya Shalei B'Shus. A kadar means a potter, right? He makes and sells pots. And he brought his pots into the courtyard of a private person without permission. Vishibrasan behemtoi shabalabayas. And now the animal, the balabayas, broke them, right? It trampled them, it stepped on them, it broke them. Okay, so if it trampled on it, it's not necessarily on purpose. But the point is that the animal of the homeowner broke them. Okay, Potter, the homeowner is exempt, being that the potter put his stuff into his courtyard without permission, so he never took any responsibility for them, and therefore, if the animal of the homeowner breaks these pots, he's exempt from huska behen. And what if the animal was damaged by them? The animal tripped over them and got damaged by them. Then the owner of the pots is going to be liable because he basically made a bar. He made a pit. He made an obstacle in the private in the domain of this person, and therefore he's liable. Now, but if let's say the potter had permission to bring it into the courtyard, and then the animal of the balabayas of the homeowner broke them, then balachatzer chayev, the owner of the courtyard, who we also refer to as the balabayas, the homeowner, he's going to be liable. Why is that? So the explanation is the Tana of this Mishna holds that when the homeowner allowed the potter to bring the pots into his courtyard, you automatically accept it to become their shomer, their watchman. Okay, that's the assumption according to this Mishnah. Maybe you could argue and say, I let you in, but I don't take any responsibility for them. This Mishnah says no. You let him in, you let him bring his pots in, you have now accepted to be a shomer on those pots. You're a watchman on those pots. As a watchman, he's required to protect the pots from damage, and if they are damaged in any way, as a result of his negligence, he must pay the owner. Okay, so that's why we say that in the case where he had permission to bring them into the courtyard and the animal of the courtyard owner now broke them, he's going to be liable. Now, in this case, if the homeowner's animal was damaged by the pots, okay, we're talking about, the Mishnah is talking about where the animal damaged the pots. And how about if the pots damaged the animal? The potter does not have to pay. See, since he had permission to bring his pots into the courtyard, he's not responsible for damage that they might cause there. You give me permission to put my pots there, then I put my pots there, and he doesn't take responsibility to watch, make sure his pots don't do anything. His pots are sitting there. He doesn't have any kind of responsibility to have to make sure the pots don't do anything to the animal in any way, and therefore the Mishnah doesn't mention this. But in this case, where the potter could bring his pots into the courtyard, and the animal of the courtyard was damaged by the pots, the owner of the pots would not be responsible. Next case, very similar case. A person put his fruits into the courtyard of a homeowner without permission. So now the animal of the homeowner, of the owner of the chutzner, of the courtyard, ate those fruits. So what, is he liable? Is the owner of the animal going to be liable? Is the owner of the animal, who is the owner of the courtyard, going to be responsible? Answer is potter. He's exempt. You weren't supposed to put your stuff here, and therefore you had no permission to put your stuff here, so you have no responsibility. Now, vim huska behen. And let's say the animal got damaged by those fruits. So, for instance, it slipped on them and hurt itself. Balaparis chayev. The balaparis is liable. Here again, he made an obstacle in the court in this person's courtyard, and the animal got damaged by it. Therefore, it's going to be obligated. It's going to be obligated to pay for the damage. But if, let's say, the person brought the fruits in with permission, he was given permission to bring the fruits in, and then the animal lived in the chutzner, in the courtyard, now ate those fruits, then bala chutzner chayev. Then the owner of the courtyard is going to be responsible to pay, because since he allowed the person to bring his fruits in, he now accepted to be a shomer, a watchman over those fruits, and therefore he was obligated to guard the fruits from the animal. And if the animal now went ahead and ate those fruits, the owner of the courtyard is going to be liable because he took responsibility to guard those fruits. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.